Welcome back to the 4 o'clock news.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back.
I will be your your anchorman. Tonight's top story. He was a skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy." Finding out more at 10. Welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens.
Welcome.
Hello, and welcome.
Hi.
Sade. Now, Sade. My name is Fred Stewart. And with me, as always, my lovely co-host,
Taylor.
Hi, Tay.
Hi.
And with us running camera and video and sound and just keeping the lighthearted spirits is a very, very concussed Marty Cowick. Yeah.
We're all falling apart.
Yeah, so Taylor's sick. I'm actually feeling fantastic. I got a cocktail. I'm a little bit, I'm summer vibes Fred right now, dude. I'm like
Summer vibes.
I'm sun's out, guns out, dude. I'm fucking jacked. Look at me. Marty's got a concussion. Taylor's sick.
Probably have bronchitis.
And, I'm just going through it mentally, I'm hanging on by a thread. Now, couple of true crime news before we get into the episode this week. I talked about like 2 weeks ago how there was a potential active serial killer in Chicago, and that is still absolutely still relevant. But we are getting more information about there being another potential serial killer that is active within the Austin, Travis County area. So if you guys are in those areas, keep your head on a swivel. Stay safe out there. And then other news, I was storming through the party like my name was El Nino, hanging out drinking in the back of an El Camino. Anyway, we have a really fun episode this week. It's something that is long overdue for this podcast. I'm surprised we haven't done it yet. Too. But I'm very, very excited for it. And it's all about kind of right here, man. It's like right within this area. I mean, technically it is this area.
It is. It's local.
It's surprisingly how local it is, dude. It's so local, dude, that it's eating fucking vegan salt and straw, dude. That's how local this shit is, dude. Damn. Yeah. Except they wouldn't do that because that shit's gross, and they eat like ice cream like a fucking adult. So there's nothing wrong with vegan ice cream unless you have morals. Now, I'm not going to get into it, but it's gross. Now,
no, vegan ice cream.
But how's
ice cream is just frozen coconut oil.
No, coconut milk. Coconut oil is different.
Oil. I'd choose oil.
I don't think.
You just eat frozen coconut oil? Or
Yeah.
I don't eat it. That's
this?
gross. It's vegan ice cream.
No.
I don't think Marty knows what's going on.
I think that concussion's hitting pretty hard right now.
Yeah.
First he gets a lobotomy, now he gets a concussion.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
If you thought Marty said some crazy shit on this podcast, you just wait for this week because, man, it's going to be a real fun one. Yeah. Do you want me to open the episode? Or do you want to open it?
I can open it.
Okay. And now we're gonna start with our tale of this story. Taylor's gonna take it over, like she just said.
Are y'all ready?
But make sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that shit. I am ready to get into it. I got something. I'm ready. I'm gonna drink my gin and tonic.
Cool. All right. So, on Thanksgiving Eve, November 24th of 1971, a man carrying a black case approached the flight counter of Northwest Orient Airlines at Portland International Airport.
Ooh.
Do you know yet?
That's where I work.
Yeah, Marty. Good job, buddy.
That's where my head went and bumped.
If you were close enough, I would tussle your hair so hard right now. I'll just do it. There you go, champ.
Using cash, the man bought a one-way ticket on Flight 305, a 30-minute trip north to SeaTac. On his ticket, the man listed his name as Dan Cooper.
It's fucking DB Cooper, baby. Let's go, dude. DB Cooper in the house.
Go.
Stop coughing.
I'm trying. I'm falling apart over here. If I could not cough, I would.
It's DB Cooper. We're finally doing It's finally here.
Finally here. I was so surprised we haven't done.
And if for those of you who don't know what SeaTac is, Seattle Tacoma International Airport.
SeaTac.
And it's not even in
SeaTac.
Seattle.
No.
It's Tacoma.
Well,
It's barely in Tacoma. But SeaTac.
SeaTac.
Most fucking I could this is more of a doc thing, but SeaTac has a horrible place in my heart. The place is a fucking mess. All right.
I mean, that's fair. Eyewitnesses describe Cooper as a white male in his mid-40s with dark hair and brown eyes, wearing a black or brown business suit, a white shirt, a thin black tie. I fucking saw you just now. A black raincoat and brown shoes, carrying a briefcase and a brown paper bag. Cooper boarded Flight 305, a Boeing 727-100, which had the FAA registration N467US. Cooper took seat 18E in the last row and ordered himself a drink. Bourbon and a 7-Up.
Nice. Bourbon and a 7-Up, which is, I mean, I've heard of that before. I've never tried it, but I do have bourbon and I do have 7-Up. So maybe somewhere through this episode, I might run downstairs, go make a bourbon and 7-Up and come back upstairs.
That does not sound good to me.
No, it sounds awful.
It sounds terrible. So with a crew of 6 and 37 passengers aboard, Flight 305 left Portland on schedule at 2:50 p.m. PST. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper handed a note to the flight attendant, Florence Schaffner, sitting in the jump seat directly behind Cooper.
And the note said something along the lines of, like, give me a snack, please. give me pretzel. Give me the snacks.
It said, circle yes or no. Do you like me?
And then he went back, and then he was just like,
So that's exactly what Florence Schaffner thought, was that the note was just a lonely businessman's phone number. Schaffner dropped the note unopened into her purse. Cooper then leaned towards her and whispered, if you want.
Miss, you
He
better look at...
whispered, not talked.
Oh, sorry. Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb.
Ooh.
I got 2 bombs. Look at these fucking cannons. God, I'm a coolest guy. I don't want to rip this shirt. I only have one of them. If this is a shirt I didn't care about, I totally would just rip my shirt off.
Not that one, though, because you can't get those anymore, right?
Yeah, no, these are,
Okay.
they don't exist more. Couch out.
That's what I thought.
Shout out.
Schaffner opened the note in neat, all capital letters printed with a felt tip pen. Cooper had written, "Miss, I have a bomb in my briefcase and want you to sit by me."
Is this a date?
I fucking...
Oh my gosh.
It's get a little hot in this airplane.
That's how little kids get their crushes.
And it's also going to get really
So
hot in
sit
this
with
airplane
them.
when that fucking bomb goes off unless you sit down next to me. So let's figure it out, okay?
Schaffner returned the note to Cooper, sat down as he requested, and quietly asked to see the bomb. He opened his briefcase, and she saw 2 rows of 4 red cylinders, which she assumed was dynamite, and attached to the cylinders were a wire and a large cylindrical battery.
God, the shit you can get into an airport back then, you know?
Yeah.
Bro, they used to fucking people used to bring guns on planes back in the day. Like, it wasn't like, I mean, like how it is now that there's a whole secured like process. I mean, obviously because of you know, a lot of hijackings, things like that. Back in the day, you used to go on and be like, I have a gun with me, and they're like, oh, I felt this paperwork.
Yeah.
And then you just sit down and you just have a fucking piece, and you're sitting in like coach, you're just smoking cigarettes,
Yeah.
blowing it into a baby's face.
Recycled air, just fucking getting smoke in all these babies' lungs.
Yeah, dude, fucking like the fucking 5-year-old in front of you just chain smoking Pall Malls, dude. Like there was no rules, dude. And people didn't give
really
a shit.
Wasn't.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool, actually.
Yeah. So Cooper closed the briefcase and told Schaffner his demands. She wrote a note with Cooper's demands, brought it back to the cockpit, and informed the flight crew of the situation. Captain William A. Scott directed her to remain in the cockpit for the remainder of the flight and take notes of events as they unfolded.
Time now, 3 p.m. Captain took his pants off. Says he spilled coffee, but he wasn't drinking coffee.
So he then contacted Northwest Flight Operations in Minnesota and relayed the hijackers' demands. Cooper requested $200,000 in a knapsack by 5 o'clock. He wants 2 front parachutes, 2 back parachutes, and he wants the money in negotiable American currency. By requesting 2 sets of parachutes, Cooper implied that he planned to take a hostage with him, discouraging authorities from supplying non-functional equipment.
Oh, smart.
That's pretty smart. With Schaffner in the cockpit, flight attendant Tina Mucklow sat next to Cooper to act as a liaison between him and the flight crew in the cockpit. He then made additional demands. Upon landing in Seattle, the fuel trucks must meet the plane and all passengers must remain seated while she brought the money aboard. He said he would release the passengers after he had the money, and the last items brought aboard would be the 4 parachutes.
It's gonna be like a cartoon where like he jumps out of the plane and like he pulls it and set it as like a picnic set, like like at the top. And some poor fucking police officer is gonna be like, I could finally eat my lunch out of my favorite parachute bag, and he's like, wait a second, dang it. And meanwhile, fucking DB's just like.
So Captain Scott informed Seattle Tacoma Airport air traffic control of the situation, who contacted local police and the FBI. The passengers were told their arrival in Seattle would be delayed because of a, quote, minor mechanical difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, I
get why they said that.
I get why they said that, but I've been on that flight like 100 times. It's a 30-minute flight from Portland to SeaTac. They're lying to you, passengers. Pay attention. Open your eyes, because airplanes aren't real. Just like birds, okay? You're not really flying. You're teleported, using teleportation technology. You know what happened next?
I can see that.
Donald Nyrop, the president of Northwest Orient, authorized payment of the ransom and ordered all employees to cooperate with the hijacker and comply with his demands. For approximately 2 hours, Flight 305 circled Puget Sound to give Seattle police and FBI sufficient time to assemble Cooper's ransom money and parachutes and to mobilize emergency personnel.
I would be pissed.
I'd be so fucking mad.
30-minute flight turns into 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
2.5 at this point, because they circled for 2 hours.
Yeah. So they probably. Oh man. That's awful.
It is awful. During the flight from Portland to Seattle, Cooper demanded that Mucklow remain by his side at all times. She later said that he appeared familiar with the local terrain. Looking out the window, he remarked, "Looks like Tacoma down there."
Yeah, it's fucking SeaTac, you stupid bastard.
As the aircraft flew above it.
Of course it fucking looks like fucking Tacoma. It's fucking SeaTac. It's in the name.
I don't know, man. He probably was just like,
Hey, you think they got like pretzels down there?
And I'm up there like, that's where I bumped my head.
You're just in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Or like in the
You're in the pit,
plane
yeah.
pit.
Yeah.
You're just stuck down there. Like, huh. And just weird.
Boy, this is fucking strange.
He's a little bumpy. I don't understand. So he also correctly noted McCord Air Force Base was only a 20-minute drive from SeaTac Airport.
Which is also true. I've also been to SeaTac quite a bit. Hunter Oman, who's a family friend of the show, my base and my brother. I've been to that base a bunch of times. It's 20 minutes, and I'm going to get into it later on about that particular note that he said about that, because to me that's a very key piece.
It is
about who DB Cooper actually was.
She later described the hijacker's demeanor. She said Cooper was not nervous. He seemed rather nice, and he was not cruel or nasty. Which, I mean, that's one thing that I've heard.
What if we held hands while I hijacked the 727-100?
God damn it. Every time you make me laugh, I fucking cough.
Yeah.
So while the plane circled Seattle, Mucklow chatted with Cooper and asked why he picked Northwest Airlines to hijack. He laughed and replied, "It's not because I have a grudge against your airlines. It's just because I have a grudge."
Okay.
Against something.
Mm-hmm.
Then explained that this flight simply suited his needs. He asked where she was from, and she answered that she was originally from Pennsylvania but was living in Minneapolis at the time. Cooper responded that Minnesota was, quote, very nice country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of tiny drinks out there. A lot of mini sodas.
She asked where he was from, and he became upset and refused to answer. He was probably from the Pacific Northwest, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gave that away.
The fact that he boarded a plane in the Pacific Northwest. He asked if she smoked and offered her a cigarette. She replied that she had quit, but she accepted the cigarette anyways.
Hell yeah.
Probably because it was fucking terrifying. I mean,
I would.
I think
I would take a cigarette, yeah,
I would
dude.
take a cigarette for sure.
I think if you're in the middle of a hijacking and you're sitting next to your hijacker, it's okay to have a cigarette if you've.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the exception.
Kick my shoes off, put it like on top of like the headrest with the guy in front of me, just kick him in the back of the head while you smoke. Just blown smoke into whatever the closest person is to you that's not the hijacker. You know, smoke, and you're like, oh, run down a couple aisles, and you're like, because that's how it was back
Those are back in the day when it was cool to smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That was cool.
What do you mean was?
Was cool.
It is cool to smoke. I'm kidding, kind of.
Kind of.
Unless you want to look really cool, then you smoke.
So FBI records note Cooper briefly spoke to an unidentified passenger while the plane maintained its holding pattern over Seattle. In his interview with the FBI agents, passenger George Labissionnaire, I don't know how to say that. It looks French.
Yeah. La Visionnaire.
He said that he visited the restroom directly behind Cooper on several occasions. After one visit, Labissionnaire said the path to his seat was blocked by a passenger wearing a cowboy hat, questioning Mucklow about the supposed mechanical issue delaying them. Labissionnaire said Cooper was initially amused by the interaction, but then became irritated and told the man to return to his seat. But the cowboy ignored Cooper and continued to question her. I don't know why the cowboy is in quotations, but it is. I think they're insinuating that this is not a real cowboy.
Dude, what a shame. Like he wasn't in there with his horse. He like taking his horse through the aisles of a fucking 727. And he's just like, you got a pasture in here?
Like you stay here, Sally. I'll be right back.
All right, you stay here. I'm gonna go find the cattle I'm missing.
Sally, stay here. Sally, calm down there,
damn it.
Sally. Sally, we're on an airplane. Calm down there.
I forgot we had that saved.
Yeah, that's so fucking funny. Wow, you were just fucking around with that before we started filming. What are the odds you got to use it? Oh, man. I got tears in my eyes.
That's pretty good.
Oh, man.
Labissionnaire claimed he eventually persuaded the cowboy to return to his seat. Mucklow's version of the interaction differed from Labissionnaire's. She said a passenger approached her and asked her for a sports magazine to read because he was bored. She and the passenger moved to an area directly behind Cooper where the passenger and she looked for magazines. The passenger took a copy of the New Yorker and returned to his seat. When Mucklow returned to sit with Cooper, he said, quote, "If that is a sky marshal, I don't want any more of that."
Yeah, that's actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
That's like the only time that like for so far in the story that I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
You know, like the bomb part, yeah, for sure. But that part seems super menacing. Like,
Just,
if that's a sky marshal, I don't want any more of that.
That's
And you're like,
terrifying.
oh, fuck, dude. Oh, listen, no, dude. He just wanted to see how the fucking...
He just wanted magazines. I don't know.
He just wanted to see how the Flyers were this year, bro. Like, wanted to see how the leaves were rocking, dude. Like, in like 50 years, the fucking goddamn Kraken are going to be out here, man. Like, just relax.
Fine. It's fine. Despite his brief interaction with Cooper, quote, the cowboy was not interviewed by the FBI and was actually never identified.
Oh.
So.
Yeehaw.
So I think they maybe are insinuating not that this man is not a real cowboy, but that L'Ambitionnaire was incorrect on his identification. And then there was
Really? We gave it
no
away.
cowboy.
There wasn't a cowboy?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess I'm done with the episode. I'm just gonna disconnect this.
Bye.
No, I really don't. I don't think I want to be part of the episode. There's no actual cowboy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Goodbye. Or you're in the pseudo closet.
No.
Yeah. We can't even find you because it's all pitch dark in there.
I'm in the pseudo closet. I'm just gonna stand right here for the next part of the episode. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just sneak in here.
FBI agents used several banks in the Seattle area to assemble the ransom. The money, $10,000 or 10,000 unmarked $20 bills, most of which had serial numbers beginning with L, which was indicating issuance by the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, was photographed on microfilm by the FBI. Cooper rejected the military issue parachutes offered by McCord AFB personnel, and demanded 4 civilian parachutes and manually operated ripcords. Seattle police obtained 2 front parachutes from a local diving school and 2 back parachutes from a local stunt pilot. Do you want to come sit back down?
So they got parachutes from a local stunt pilot?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It was pretty neat.
I got messed up on that. Okay, that is actually kind of badass. Can you imagine being that stunt pilot though?
Yeah.
The FBI just rolls up and they pull up and they're like, "We need you for a mission." And he's like, "I'm on it. What do you need?" And he goes, "We need your parachutes." And he's like, "All right,
I can do that."
You're going to have to kill me for it."
So around 5:24 PST, Captain Scott was informed that the parachutes had been delivered to the airport, notified Cooper that they would be landing soon. At 5:46 PST, Flight 305 landed at the Seattle-Tacoma Airport. With Cooper's permission, Scott parked the aircraft on a partially lit runway away from the main terminal. Cooper demanded that only one representative of the airline approach the airplane with the parachutes and the money, and the only entrance and exit would be through the aircraft's front door via the mobile air stairs. Northwest Orient's Seattle operations manager, Al Lee, was designated to be the courier. Can you imagine? You just come to work, and then they're like, "Guess what you're fucking doing today?"
He's super hungover, and he's just like, I'm so fucking hungover. And they're like, "Hey,
Al.
Hey, Al, you do anything right now?" He's like, "No, I just clocked in. What do you need?" "Yeah, I just need you to deliver these parachutes to this plane. They have a bomb in it." And he's like, Yeah. What?
Hold on a minute. Yeah. I can't imagine going to work that day and you're like, it's just going to be a simple day.
Yeah. And to kind of talk about some of the, talk about the 727, and talk about the overall airframe of this aircraft. It's much like how most Boeings are. There's going to be 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then 2 over the wings, right? That's the general thing. But what makes it special about the 727, not to give any spoilers, is there's a rear door, which is super strange. Weird. There's a rear door in this 727. It's out the aft, which is the rear end of an aircraft, and it just kind of opens up, and then there's a little fucking air stairs from the cabin.
Huh. Interesting.
So very, very odd.
Yeah, that is odd. So to avoid the possibility that Cooper might mistake Lee's airline uniform for that as a law enforcement officer, he changed into civilian clothes for the task. With the passengers remaining seated, a ground crew attached the mobile staircase. Per Cooper's directive, Mucklow exited the aircraft through the front door and retrieved the ransom money. When she returned, she carried the money back past the seated passengers to Cooper in the last row. Cooper then agreed to release the passengers as they debarked. Cooper inspected the money, In an attempt to break the tension, McLeod jokingly asked Cooper if she could have some of the money. Cooper readily agreed and handed her a packet of bills, but she immediately returned the money, agreeing that accepting gratuities was against company policy.
Oh, that's cute. I love that. That's so cute and so fun. I love that so much. Just like, I can't accept, you know.
I know. It's like
not for like the moral reason of like you're taking money from a fucking hijacker, but she's like, our company says that we can't accept tips via money. So
yeah, she did say that Cooper had tried to tip her and the other two flight attendants earlier in the flight with money from his own pocket, but they had each declined, citing the policy.
Should have taken that fucking money, dude.
Like, fucking. What are they gonna do? Be like, oh, you took money from a hijacker because you were kind of worried, like maybe he'd be kind of upset if you didn't.
Yeah, I do love that DB Cooper was like, she's like, can I get some of that money? And he's like, yeah,
here you go,
here you go. And she's like,
fucking take it.
Whoa, hold on, man. I was
joke.
Just joking, man. I didn't mean it.
Joshing you.
He's like, take this money or I'll blow up his fucking plane. It's like, okay.
So with the passengers safely debarked, only Cooper and the 6 crew members remain on board. In accordance with Cooper's demands, Mucklow made 3 trips outside the aircraft to retrieve the parachutes, which she brought to him in the rear of the plane. While Mucklow brought aboard the parachutes, Schaffner asked Cooper if she could retrieve her purse stored in a compartment above her seat or his seat. Cooper agreed and told her, "I won't bite you."
I won't bite you.
Like he's literally in the middle of a hijacking.
He's pretty suave. I like it.
He's like just making jokes and honestly not seeming like that mean of a guy.
No,
I mean, yes, he is robbing and hijacking a plane, but
I mean, he's doing it the way that is a nice way.
Yeah.
if there is such a thing, you know.
right.
Yeah.
But my main question is, where's the ramp crew? They in the pit? They throwing bags out? Like, what's
I don't
happening?
know what they're doing.
Be a lot of weight in that aircraft, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, especially because
I want to see that load plan. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, where's the 097 Bravo, dude? I want to see that shit, dude. I'm bringing up stuff that nobody has any idea what we're talking about other than me and Marty.
I was gonna say other than Marty. I don't know.
I don't think most people watching this know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I don't know. There might be some pretty big plane guys in our audience.
Dude, if you know what an 097 Bravo is, hit us up in the fucking comments, dude, and dab me the fuck up. Dab me up right now. Dab me up. Dude.
It's
God, dude.
So flight attendant Alice Hancock then asked Cooper if the flight attendants could leave, to which Cooper replied, "Whatever you girls would like." So Hancock and Schaffner debarked. When Mucklow brought the final parachute to Cooper, she gave him printed instructions for using the parachutes, but Cooper said he didn't need them. That seems seems like a potential clue on
That's gonna play into another thing that I have later on.
who he is.
Yeah.
A problem with the refueling process caused the delay, so a second truck and then a third were brought to the aircraft to complete refueling. During the delay, Mucklow and Cooper complained the money was delivered. Mucklow says Cooper complained the money was delivered in a cloth bag instead of a knapsack as he directed. And now he had to improvise a new way to transport the money. Using a pocket knife, Cooper cut the canopy from one of the reserve parachutes and stuffed some money into the empty parachute bag. An FAA official requested a face-to-face meeting with Cooper aboard the aircraft, but Cooper denied the request. To me, that makes sense. Because, no.
Yeah.
Simply not. Cooper became impatient, saying, quote, "This shouldn't take so long, and let's get the show on the road." He then gave the cockpit crew his flight plan and directives, a southeast course towards Mexico City at the minimum airspeed possible without stalling the aircraft, which is approximately 100 knots at a maximum 10,000 foot altitude. He knows what the fuck he's talking about.
He knows exactly what he's talking about. And 100 knots is about 115 miles an hour. I think that's what that said.
Yes.
So pretty fast, but
Not like
not
incredibly
crazy
fast.
fast. That's so slow too.
Yeah. So he knows what he's talking about. His directives are very clear. So Cooper also specified that the landing gear must remain deployed. The wing flaps must be lowered 15 degrees and the cabin must remain unpressurized. He knows exactly what he wants. First Officer William J. Radaszak informed Cooper that this configuration limited the aircraft's range to about 1,000 miles, so a second refueling would be necessary before entering Mexico. Cooper and the crew discussed options and agreed on Reno at the Tahoe International Airport as the refueling stop. Cooper further directed the aircraft to take off with the rear exit door open and its air stair extended.
Just about what I was talking about a second ago, which was the 727 air stairs.
Yeah.
And I'll put up a photo right here. For those listening, I'll put up a photo right here. But as you can see through the photo, it's a set of air stairs that come out the back of the aircraft, and kind of in the for the 727, the engines are on. Looks like a 3-tiered system. They got one asphyxiated to the wing, and then you have the 2 on offset on the sides of the the horizontal stabilizer, and 2 on the opposite sides. So no jet wash.
So Northwest's home office objected that this was unsafe, and Cooper countered saying, quote, "It can be done. Do it." But did not argue the point and said he would lower the staircase once they were airborne. He demanded Mucklow remain aboard to assist the operation.
Hell yeah.
So, crew of Flight 305, upon landing in Reno, Captain William Scott, co-pilot Bill Radaszak, flight attendant Tina Mucklow, and flight engineer Harold E. Anderson. And then around 7:40 p.m., Flight 305 took off with those 4 people. 2 F-106 fighters from McCord Air Force Base and a Lockheed T-33 trainer diverted from a unrelated Air National Guard mission to follow the 727. All 3 jets maintained an S flight pattern to stay behind the slow-moving 727 and out of Cooper's view. You looking them up?
Yeah, I'm looking up an F-106. They're pretty spicy.
Oh, that's pretty spicy.
They're pretty cool looking. And then the T-33, I know exactly what the T-33 is. It's a trainer. It's a trainer jet for fighter pilots to kind of get used to flying around and getting G's and shit. But that the F-106 Delta Dart is pretty fun. I didn't realize they operated those out of McCord, which is really cool. I know they operated some other stuff, and they operated like A-10s and shit. So that's really cool. I didn't realize they had 106s.
So after takeoff, Cooper told Mucklow to lower the back staircase. She told him and the flight crew she feared being sucked out of the aircraft. The flight crew suggested she come to the cockpit and retrieve an emergency rope to which she could tie herself to a seat. Sorry, I'm dying. Cooper rejected the suggestion, stating he did not want her going up front or the flight crew coming back to the cabin. She continued to express her fear to him, and then asked him to cut some cord from one of the parachutes to create a safety line for her. He said he would lower the stairs himself, instructed her to go to the cockpit, close the curtain partition between coach and first class, and then not return. So at first he said, "Don't go up there," and then he said, "Just fucking go up there. I'll do it myself. But don't come back here."
Mm-hmm.
Before she left, Mucklow begged Cooper, please take the bomb with you. Cooper responded that he would either disarm it or take it with him. As she walked to the cockpit and turned to close the partition, She saw Cooper standing in the aisle tying what appeared to be the money bag around his waist. From takeoff to when Mucklow entered the cockpit, 4 to 5 minutes had elapsed. For the rest of the flight to Reno, Mucklow remained in the cockpit and was the last person to see the hijacker. Around 8 p.m., a cockpit warning light flashed, indicating the staircase had been deployed. The pilot used cabin intercom to ask Cooper if he needed assistance. But Cooper's last message was a one-word reply.
No.
No. Simply not.
That's so fucking hard, though.
Right.
When it just like pops up on the on the HUD, just ding, warning, rear door open. You're like, oh shit, and he's like, Cooper, do you need any help, sir? And he's just like, no. You're like, ooh. Okay. You do you, bro. I'm just gonna be up here flying a plane and shit, dude. This shit's fucking. I'm a pilot. Fucking pilot.
I mean, he does know what he's doing. So,
shout out to pilots.
The crew's ears popped from the drop in cabin air pressure from the stairs being opened, and at approximately 8:13 p.m., the aircraft's tail section suddenly pitched upward, forcing the pilots to trim and return the aircraft to level flight. In his interview with the FBI, co-pilot Bill Redesak said the sudden upward pitch occurred when the flight was near the suburbs north of Portland. With the back cabin door open and the staircase deployed, the flight crew remained in the cockpit, but were now unsure if Cooper was still aboard. Mucklow used the cabin intercom to inform Cooper that they were approaching Reno and that they needed to raise the stairs so the plane could land safely. She repeated her request as pilots made the final approach to land, but neither Mucklow nor the flight crew received a reply from the hijacker. At 11:02, with the staircase still deployed, Flight 305 landed at Reno Tahoe International Airport. FBI agents, state troopers, sheriff deputies, and Reno police established a perimeter around the aircraft, but fearing the hijacker and the bomb were still aboard, did not approach the plane. Captain Scott searched the cabin, confirmed Cooper was no longer aboard, and after a 30-minute search, the FBI bomb squad declared the cabin safe. So, they don't know where he went. They don't know when he jumped off.
I'm guessing he went out of the plane.
Well, no shit. But they have their suspicions, obviously, with the plane tilting upwards.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think he went bye-bye.
Thank you, Marty.
You went bye-bye. You're so funny.
You're doing great, Marty, over there with your concussion.
Thanks.
Yeah, kind of looking at some of this flight plan. So kind of came up, from like there was a you kind of went across from the Ridgefield area past like the center, kind of came up past there, and then somewhere within our actual area is when he jumped out.
Yeah. So in addition to 66 latent fingerprints aboard the airliner, FBI agents recovered Cooper's black clip-on tie clip, and 2 of the 4 parachutes, one of which that had been open and had 3 shroud lines cut from the canopy. FBI agents interviewed eyewitnesses in Portland, Seattle, and Reno, and developed a series of composite sketches. Local police and FBI agents immediately began questioning possible suspects, acting on the possibility that a hijacker may have used his real name or the same alias in a previous crime. Portland police discovered and interviewed a Portland citizen named D.B. Cooper.
Oh, nice.
Not a great name to have.
Just has the same sunglasses on, and he's like looking for his tie, but it's not there. He's covered in money and dirt, and he's like, "Wasn't me."
I didn't do it. No.
No, dude, I don't like planes. I think they're scary. I'm like, oh, okay. He still has the parachute on.
Oh my god. So the Portland Cooper had a minor police record, but was quickly eliminated as a suspect. In his rush to meet a deadline, reporter James Long confused this man with the name used by the hijacker. United Press International Wire Service reporter Clyde Jabin republished Long's error, and as the media sources repeated the name, D.B. Cooper became the hijacker's pseudonym.
Hell yeah. The reporter's name was Clyde Jabin.
Yeah.
You gotta, you got that name. Is that when he was in press school, he started stabbing people? He's like, I'm jabbing. I'm out here jabbing, dude. I'm out here Clyde jabbing, dude.
That's an odd name. I don't think I've ever heard the last name Jabin.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So an animation of the 727's rear air stair deploying in flight with Cooper. Oh, I think that was supposed to be a photo, and I didn't put any photos in here.
Classic.
Whoops. So
I'm adding photos anyway.
Yeah, perfect. So due to the number of variables and perimeters, precisely defining the area to search was difficult. The jet's airspeed estimates varied, and the environmental conditions along the flight path varied from the aircraft's location and altitude, and only Cooper would have known how long he stayed in free fall before pulling his ripcord. The Air Force F-106 pilots never saw anyone jumping from the airliner, nor did the radar detect a deployed parachute, which is odd.
That is odd, yeah.
Moreover, a black-clad individual jumping into a moonless night would be pretty difficult to see, especially given limited invisibility, cloud cover, and lack of ground lighting. The T-33 pilots did not make visual contact with the 727. On December 6th of 1971, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover approved the use of an Air Force SR-71 Blackbird to retrace and photograph Flight 305's flight path in an attempt to locate the items Cooper carried during his jump.
That was just a fucking flex by him, bro.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no need that they're like. I mean, sure, the SR-71 has super in-depth cameras and shit. But there was absolutely no need for J. Edgar Hoover to be like, yeah, let's use an SR-71 Blackbird to go find this hijacker.
Right.
No
reason.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're gonna be at 70,000 feet as we do it, just because we can.
The SR-71 made 5 flights to retrace Flight 305's route, but due to poor visibility, the photography attempts were unsuccessful. So it absolutely was a flex.
Mm-hmm.
In an experimental recreation flying the same aircraft used in the hijacking and the same flight configuration, FBI agents pushed a 200-pound sled out of the open air stair and were able to reproduce the upward motion of the tail section and brief change in cabin pressure described by the flight crew at 8:13 p.m. How do you warn people that, hey, watch out, we're pushing a 200-pound sled out of an aircraft?
Trick question, you don't.
You just hope for the best.
Yeah, you just kind of go like you just go, hey, guys, did we one of these people? They're like, fuck no, dude, watch this. At the back, just to see what happens. Like, did we attach a parachute to that? And they're like, oh, fuck, dude, did we attach a parachute to that?
Like,
did we just drop a 200-pound box? They're like, well.
We certainly did.
Could be somebody else.
Did you remember to take the bomb and the cash out of there? Then they jump out the plane.
That's the story of DB Cooper 2. Return to Cooperville.
Initial extrapolations placed Cooper's landing zone within an area on the southernmost outreach of Mount St. Helens, a few miles southeast of Ariel, Washington, near Lake Merwin, which is an artificial lake formed by a dam on the Lewis River.
I am familiar.
I am not, but
this entire area where all this stuff happens is basically like where I grew up.
Oh,
like, I've been out to these areas. I've been out to Lake Irwin. long time ago. I know the Lewis River really well.
Right.
So like, he's out there.
He's out.
I think I know what actually happened to DB Cooper though when he landed. Sasquatch.
Oh yeah.
Dude, open your mind, dude.
Yeah,
Open-
Sasquatch wasn't expecting him, and he just
Yeah.
landed on him.
Yeah. Sasquatch is like, do I hear a cartoon falling sounds? Pew. And then Sasquatch got $50,000 in money and shaved himself and became Ted Cruz. This place so shady. Look at you, Zodiac. Now, what happened next?
So search efforts focused on the Clark and Cowlitz counties, encompassing the terrain immediately south and north of the Lewis River in southwest Washington. FBI agents and sheriff deputies searched large areas of the heavily wooded terrain on foot and by helicopter. Door-to-door searches of local farmhouses were also carried out. Other search parties ran patrol boats along Lake Merwin and Yale Lake, which is a reservoir immediately to its east.
Fucking love Yale Lake.
I don't think I've been there.
Great fishing.
Oh, maybe.
The Yale Reservoir area is great.
Actually, it sounds familiar. I think maybe we drove by it one time and you pointed it out to me.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
I know exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Getting off topic, but yeah, we did.
Neither Cooper nor any of the equipment he presumably carried was found. So, using a fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters from the Oregon Army National Guard, the FBI coordinated, God, I can't fucking speak, an aerial search along the entire flight path, known as Victor 23 in U.S. Aviation terminology, but Vector 23 in most Cooper literature.
Yeah, shout out to the Victor 23 Brewery, dude.
Yeah.
Let me just kind of go over Marty's text. Shout out to Victor 23 Brewery in Vancouver. If you guys are within the area and want to have some fun little DB Cooper lore, this is an ad, but it's not an ad. Go check out Victor 23 Brewery. It's a DB Cooper themed brewery in Vancouver, and their beer is good and their food is fantastic.
That sounds dope. Actually, I wasn't texting. I was just reading about because I wanted to see what the air stairs looked like because you were going to put the picture up, but I couldn't see it. And I was reading that. Did you know that Boeing actually changed the design of the 727 due to DB Cooper?
Yes.
No, I did not.
Yes,
That's the reason why.
I have I have a list of things. That
Oh, okay. We'll get into that then. Okay, cool.
Thanks for the fucking spoilers, dude. Like, what are we?
Well, I was just looking up pictures of that, and then you know what I'm saying? I was just looking up pictures.
Taylor worked so hard on this episode, and and now it's thrown away. I got a Nerf gun. And a Nerf.
There he is. Oh God.
Got a Nerf gun.
We're gonna just put my mic. Oh. How'd that feel?
I felt
I was gonna shoot.
justified.
I was absolutely gonna shoot Marty in the head like I normally do, but then I remembered that he has a concussion.
So probably not the best idea.
Probably not. Made it.
So although numerous broken treetops and several pieces of plastic along other objects resembling parachute canopies were sighted and investigated, nothing related or relevant to the hijacking was found. I don't know. I kind of think maybe that is related.
Yeah, I mean, I got some stuff later on that I'll talk about for some theories, but there's some stuff that's kind of sketchy.
And I have a whole list of suspects.
Yeah, and I got some stuff to talk about, I think.
Okay. So that'll be in a little bit, but probably once we get to the suspects, you can talk about
Yeah.
your theories.
Yeah, my theories, you mean my truths?
Shortly after the spring thaw in early 1972, teams of FBI agents aided by some 200 soldiers from Fort Lewis along with United States Air Force personnel, National Guardsmen, and civilian volunteers conducted another thorough ground search of Clark and Cowlitz counties for 18 days in March and then another 18 days in April. you know that even though it was thawed out, it was absolutely pouring down rain while they were out there.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely just pouring. Electronic Explorations Company, a marine salvage firm, used a submarine to search the 200-foot depths of Lake Merwin. 2 local women stumbled upon a skeleton in an abandoned structure in Clark County. However, it was later identified the remains were of Barbara Ann Derry, who was a teenage girl who'd been abducted and murdered several weeks before.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So they had a lot going on in Clark County.
They
around this
fucking started a murder investigation.
time. Yeah.
Shout out DB Cooper.
Yeah, I guess.
Indirectly helped a murder investigation.
Yeah. So ultimately, the extensive search and recovery operation uncovered no significant material evidence related to the hijacking. Based on early computer projections produced for the FBI, Cooper's drop zone was first estimated to be between Ariel Dam to the north and the town of Battleground to the south.
Which is kind of near where I grew up, which is out in that area.
Yeah.
And there, I mean, like I lived in there for pretty much most of my pretty much like half my life almost.
Yeah.
There, it's a lot of farms, a lot of stuff back there. And I imagine back in the 70s, it was even more, farm. But there's lots of dense forests. There's lots of places to hide, lots of cover, things like that. So he could have easily just kind of bugged out from there. And there's lots of places to go.
Yeah. So in March of 1972, the FBI concluded their original calculations were incorrect. After a joint investigation with Northwest Orient Airlines and the Air Force, they determined Cooper probably jumped over the town of Le Center.
Going gambling.
Yeah,
go,
he's going to the casino.
So in 2019, the FBI released an initial report indicating that about 3 hours after Cooper jumped, a burglary was reported in a small grocery store near Hessen, Washington, an unincorporated community located within the calculated drop zone that Northwest Airlines had presented to the FBI. And the burglar was noted by the FBI to have taken only survival items such as beef jerky and gloves, because that's what I think when I think I need to survive is beef jerky and gloves.
Yeah,
because you're going to
obviously.
need something to keep yourself occupied.
Excuse me?
That's what the beef jerky's for.
That's what the gloves are for.
Oh.
Oh, beefy.
Y'all are going to have to excuse my voice cracks that happen because
I won't.
yeah, that's fair. You know what? You don't have to. You can make fun of me for it in the comments. A month after the hijacking, the FBI distributed lists of ransom serial numbers to financial institutions, casinos, racetracks, and other businesses that routinely conducted large cash transactions, and to law enforcement agencies around the world. Northwest Orient offered a reward of 15% of the recovered money to a maximum of $25,000. In early 1972, U.S. Attorney General John N. Mitchell released the serial numbers to the general public. 2 men used counterfeit $20 bills printed with Cooper's serial numbers to swindle $30,000 from a Newsweek reporter named Carl Fleming in exchange for an interview with a man they falsely claimed was the hijacker.
So he was, yeah. I mean, a lot of the reports that people say about Cooper, Mr. Fleming, is that they think he's just like a white male. He's got these kind of glasses, kind of like mine. Very suave, very calm. But that's actually incorrect. Yeah. Oh. So he actually is around the same height, but he's kind of more shaped, kind of like this. Kind of curves down like this. And he's big and he's purple.
He fucking knew you were describing Grimace. I fucking knew it. I was like, he's gonna fucking describe Grimace. I was right. Surprise.
Big and purple. He's like, excuse me, miss, I got a bomb.
He's like, you got like look out for my partner. Guy comes in, he's like, where the fuck fucking burgers. It's a hamburglar. He's got a gun. Just starts fucking unloading on people in 12 Bravo, dude. So fucking. I'll start killing hostages until I start getting burgers.
Yeah, that's the thing that people don't actually know is that D.B. Cooper was a ploy by McDonald's to market.
A lot of people don't know is that D.B. Cooper was actually a ploy by the Clark County Sheriff's Office to investigate murders.
Oh, yeah, of course. So in early 1973, with the ransom money still missing, the Oregon Journal republished the serial numbers and offered $1,000 to the first person to turn in a ransom bill to the newspaper or any FBI field office. In Seattle, the Post-Intelligencer made a similar offer with a $5,000 reward.
I'm driving all the way to Seattle.
Yep, exactly. The offers remained in effect until Thanksgiving of 1974. Though several near matches were reported, no genuine bills were found.
Yeah.
In 1975, Northwest Orient's insurer, Global Indemnity Company, complied with an order from the Minnesota Supreme Court and paid the airline's $180,000 claim on the ransom money. So Northwest Orient got fucking paid.
Yeah, they did.
That's
also, $5,000 in 1974 is a lot.
Yeah.
About worth $32,000.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Even $1,000, I feel like, is a lot comparatively.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So later analysis indicated the original landing zone was incorrect, but the additional data from a variety of sources, in particular Continental Airlines pilot Tom Bohan, who was flying 4 minutes behind 305, indicated wind direction factored into drop zone calculations had been wrong by as much as 80 degrees. So
damn.
This and other supplemental data suggested the actual drop zone was southeast of the original estimate in the drainage area of the Washougal River.
Right there in Schugal.
Yeah.
Yep. I used to joke all the time back in school because I went to high school for my junior year in Washougal, and would be out there. My friends would be like, "We're gonna find DB Cooper's money."
That would have been so fucking
Oh,
cool.
dude,
though.
I would have just taken it and just start fucking eating it.
No, don't eat it.
You can't stop me, dude. It's already gone.
Did you eat it?
Let's continue the story.
FBI agent Ralph Himmelsbach wrote, quote, "I have to confess, if I were going to look for Cooper, I would head to Washougal. The Washougal Valley and its surroundings have been searched repeatedly in subsequent years. To date, no discoveries traceable to the hijacking have been reported. Some investigators speculate that the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens could have obliterated any remaining physical clues," which is very true.
Yeah, I mean, that is an absolute possibility considering how close Washougal is to Mount St. Helens. I mean, like, geologically, like, where we are and where this drop zone could have been to Mount St. Helens is incredibly close.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even your mom, like, I mean, her grandfather had a jar full
the
of
jar of
ash from St. Helens, and that was only a couple of blocks away from here. So imagine just being that much step closer, the wind direction, it's going to hit much harder. You know, I don't know.
My great grandfather, like, just right outside at the curb, like, scooped up a thing of ash and, like, sealed it.
Pretty badass.
And he was like, "This is fucking cool." I brought it to show and tell one time. It was like, "Look at this.
Look at
jar of ash."
Look at this jar of ash.
It's like,
It's either cigarette ash or it's in St. Helens. One or the other. It tastes really bad.
it's like the I got a jar of dirt, except it's a jar of ash. And I was like, "Look at it."
That's pretty interesting, though. I would look at your jar of ash.
Well, we'll go get the jar of ash at some point.
I don't think my mom's using it for anything.
No.
I'm sure she'd give it to me.
Put it on the set somewhere and I'll fucking just cover myself in it.
Do not.
Just be like, I'm a little volcano.
So on July 8th of 2016, the FBI announced active investigation of the Cooper case was suspended. They waited fucking a long time.
Yeah.
like over 30 years to be like, I don't think we're going to find anything.
I don't think so.
They cited the need to focus investigative resources and manpower on issues of higher and more urgent priority. Local field offices would continue to accept any legitimate physical evidence related specifically to the parachutes or the ransom money that may emerge in the future. A 66-volume case file compiled over the 45-year course of the investigation would be preserved for historical purposes at FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C., and on the FBI website. All evidence is open to the public, and the crime remains the only unsolved case of air piracy in commercial aviation history.
Arg, air piracy. Set the sails and push the throttle.
You need your Nerf gun. Your big piratey one.
I think the pirate hats are in the closet. I don't know.
Well, nonetheless, we have part of a
Arg,
pirate.
set the sails and set the sails and bring me DB Cooper. Arg, arg. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Is this air piracy or cowboys? I'm confused. Pirates and cowboys. That's a game that kids play, right?
Set the sails.
Oh God. Fucking hands up. So during the forensic search of the aircraft, FBI agents found four major pieces of evidence, each with a direct physical link to Cooper, which is the black clip-on tie, a mother of pearl tie clip,
Mother of pearl.
a hair from Cooper's headrest, and an eight filter-tipped Raleigh cigarette butts from the armrest ashtray. So man smoked 8 fucking cigarettes.
Dude, I'd probably smoke
his entire time. That's a lot.
Dude, I would do smoking when I got on the plane. I'd finish that cigarette and be like, oh, I love the fresh air of the inside of an airplane. Time for another cigarette.
Yeah. So, FBI agents found the black clip-on necktie in seat 18E where Cooper had been seated. Attached to the tie clip was a gold tie clip with a circular mother of pearl setting in the center of the clip. The FBI determined that the tie had been sold exclusively at JCPenney department stores, but it was discontinued in 1968.
I fucking knew JCPenney was connected. Fucking knew it. I knew it all along.
It's a ploy between McDonald's and JCPenney.
His name was not actually D.B. Cooper. It was J.C.
Penny.
I don't know how the fuck you two playing that, but that was good. That was fucking good.
Yeah.
Did we plan that, Fred?
No, we didn't plan that.
You guys just spend too much time together.
Taylor is the only one that has the script, but me and Marty are connected in more ways than one.
Oh.
We've docked many times.
Oh.
Yeah, we've docked quite a bit. Speaking of which, check out the latest episode of The Doc. It's out.
Yeah.
Finally, we're finally back. It's happening.
Yes, sir.
So by late 2007, the FBI had built a partial DNA profile from samples found on Cooper's tie in 2001. However, the FBI also acknowledged that no evidence linked Cooper to the source of the DNA sample. It's his tie. It's probably his DNA. I'm just going to go on a limb here.
Can I read that next part?
Yes.
Can you just say what his name is?
Said FBI Special Agent Fred Gutt.
All right. It's Fred Gutt, your favorite special. Oh, just hold on. Let me come home and trap this. Oh, it's Fred Gutt, your favorite special FBI. Show the tie had 2 small DNA samples and 1 large sample. It's difficult to draw firm conclusions from these samples, but you can try to draw my belly, but it's too big.
So the FBI also made a public file of previously unreleased evidence, including Cooper's plane ticket, composite sketches, fact sheets, and posted a request for information about Cooper's identification. In March of 2009, a group of citizen sleuths using GPS satellite imagery and other technologies unavailable in 1971 began reinvestigating components of the case known as the Cooper Research Team.
Oh, citizen sleuths known as the CRT. You mean a bunch of fucking virgins, dude? Fucking touch grass, dude. Touch grass. Dude, you're not going to find him. I already found him, and he was delicious.
Oh. Was he nice and well cooked from the Mount St. Helena?
No, he was still alive.
Oh.
I just started fucking just beating the shit out of him.
Oh, okay.
Ate his body whole like a snake, and
Oh.
my jaw came apart and was like,
Oh.
I am now DB Cooper.
The group included paleontologist Tom Kay from the Burke Museum of Natural History and Culture in Seattle, scientific illustrator Carol Abrasinskis.
Dude, bro, I swear to God, that last name is for sure a fucking magical spell in Hollywood and Harry Potter. Abrazinkas.
Yeah.
Abrazinkas.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
It's a cool
name.
fucking name though.
A metallurgist, Alan Stone.
Meteorologist?
Nope.
Metallurgist.
Meteorologist.
Metallurgist.
Metal.
Metallurgist. What the fuck is it? Is it like the study of metals?
Metallurgy. It's concerned the properties of metals, their protection and purification. So
Yeah.
they study metals.
There we go.
Get fucked, Marty.
That's pretty.
Trying to correct me. You don't even have the script.
That's
I
pretty.
don't know. I've never heard of metal.
Let me get like a cool frame. That's pretty heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So although the CRT obtained little new information about the buried ransom money or Cooper's landing zone, they found, analyzed, and identified hundreds of organic and metallic particles on Cooper's tie. Using electron microscopy, the CRT identified lycopodium spores, the source of which was likely pharmaceutical. The team also found minute particles of unalloyed titanium on the tie, along with particles of bismuth, antimony, cerium, strontium sulfide, aluminum, and titanium anemone alloys. These metal and rare earth particles suggest that Cooper may have worked for Boeing or another aeronautical engineering firm, at a chemical manufacturing plant, or at a metal fabrication and production facility. Honestly, though, he could have worked for Boeing. The amount he knew.
Yeah, for sure. I have a hat now, and but I mean, like, a lot of people don't know is there is actually a Boeing facility at PDX. Not only that, but there's a Boeing facility next to SeaTac. So if this guy, if Cooper did actually work for Boeing, there is a high possibility that he actually had been to Lewis McChord. Not only, I'll kind of dive into it later, but like, he may have been prior military or things like that, have served on Lewis McChord, had been part of the Air Force and the Army, and had known that. Or Boeing does use a Lewis McChord's airstrip to test some new aircraft sometimes. I've actually seen it in person. They tested one of the last few 747's that went out. Huh. They landed in there, tested it out, kind of did some stuff on it, just to do some touch and goes all around. And so the high probability that's why he knew where McChord was, knew where all these things were, is because he worked for Boeing. Had been to Portland, had been to their Boeing, had been to SeaTac a bunch, I'm sure, to go, deal with some Boeing stuff there or whatever. So he was probably within that airfield, but under what sense? I don't know.
I also did not realize we are not that far in to my story. So this probably will be 2 parts.
This will most likely be 2 parts.
Because we are on page 8 of 26.
Damn.
So
It's going to be, yeah. God.
I didn't realize it was going to be this long, but that's okay.
God damn.
I hope y'all like talking about DB Cooper, because it's going to be our next episode too.
I hope y'all like it like fucking GBS and DB Cooper, because we're getting one of those out here. Or maybe both.
Maybe by the next time we record, I won't be dying. That is only the hope.
And I
But-
will be all smart again.
Less
Well,
concussed.
let's get realistic. Now,
He'll be less concussed. I'll be less sick, and I don't know. What will you be less of?
fucking not a
Sane?
lot, man, huh?
Sane?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just breaking apart at the seams every day. You know the story of Humpty Dumpty?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
We're not putting you
I
back
wish the
together?
voices would stop. I wish they would stop. They keep telling me, find DB Cooper, find DB Cooper, find DB Cooper.
I mean,
Shoot John
yeah.
Lennon.
Oh.
Find DB Cooper.
Ooh. Oh, what was that?
That's Fred.
Huh?
Fred's hearing things.
Oh. I'm
Hello? Someone left their horse in the 727. Can someone... You guys hearing that?
No.
You guys aren't hearing a horse?
No. Are you good? Are you okay?
I think I got Minecraft stuck in my head right now, dude. Am I in Minecraft, dude?
Yeah, we're in Minecraft.
Dude, get out of my head, man! Get out of my head! 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 Get out!
Hi.
Get out of my head!
Are you good? You okay? Oh my god.
Which? Jesus, man.
So the material with the most significance, explained Kay, was the unalloyed titanium. In the 1970s.
1970s?
Yeah, 1970s.
The year is 1970.
In the 1970s, not the year 1907, that's not quite right. The use of pure titanium was rare and would only be used in aircraft fabrication facilities or at chemical companies combining titanium and aluminum to store extremely corrosive substances. The cerium and strontium sulfide were used by Boeing's supersonic transport development project and by Portland facilities in which cathode ray tubes were manufactured, such as Teledyne and Tektronix. Cooper researcher Eric Eulis has speculated the titanium and ammonium alloys are linked to REM Crew Titanium Incorporated, who is a metals manufacturer and Boeing contractor. So
So you tell me he's smart.
he is. I mean, honestly, yeah, this man is smart. DB Cooper is a smart person. The amount of things that he knew how to do and the plan.
Knew how to tie his shoes.
Yeah, probably.
That's more than I can say than for about 2/3 of this room.
Yep. He could also count by twos.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think so.
I might be wearing shoes right now, dude.
me neither.
Me neither.
We're all just raw.
That's more than I can say for 3/3 of this room. None of us could tie our fucking shoes.
I can tie my shoes. I just don't want to put shoes on. Usually when we're recording, I'm wearing Crocs, so I don't have to tie my shoes. Fred hates the fact that I wear Crocs.
Crocs are a fucking sin against man.
I love my Crocs.
It's because lots of reasons. All right?
Shut up. You can pry my Crocs out of my cold dead hands. They're
Cold,
so
dead, probably autistic hands.
they're so comfortable.
They're
the most comfortable
listen,
shoes.
I say that you might be autistic, but we've done the test, and there's a probability.
There is a probabilily.
Hyperfixating on
Also, I'd like to say I can tie my shoes. I just don't like to because I'm fat and it's difficult.
You like Velcro. You like the Velcro shoes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up what the largest size Velcro lineup you can buy. What size shoe do you wear?
11 and a half.
All right.
So while you're doing that, I will continue. FBI agents found 2 hair samples in Cooper's seat, a single strand of limb hair on the seat, and then a single strand of brown Caucasian head hair on the headrest. The limb hair was destroyed after the FBI crime laboratory determined the sample lacked enough unique microscopic characteristics to be useful. However, the FBI crime laboratory determined that the head hair was suitable for future comparison and preserved the hair on a microscope slide. During their attempts to build Cooper's DNA profile in 2002, guess what? The FBI discovered the hair sample had been lost.
Wow, shocking. FBI drops the ball again?
Wow. That's
On
never
tonight's
happened.
top story, FBI drops the ball again?
And again.
Coming up
And
tonight
again.
in 10 o'clock news, he was a skater boy. She said, see you later, boy.
So, I mean,
Wasn't good enough for her.
good job, FBI. You're fucking doing great, apparently.
Well, listen, we have a lot of disdain for the feds on this pod. You know, we have a lot of love for our law enforcement officers out there, and you guys are doing some great work, you know. Except for the ones that are not, then go fuck yourself. But to the ones who are trying their hardest and their damnedest to make things a better place, and, you know, trying to change the lives for the better of people, we love you for it. But the FBI, you guys got a bad track record. You
They
guys are
really
losing
do.
evidence. You guys got Waco.
I mean, yeah. There's that.
Ruby Ridge, just more
yeah.
than Marshalls, but the FBI was there.
They weren't included.
Yeah, you guys are just around. You guys are, you know, just maybe, you know, you guys do catch serial killers sometimes.
Sometimes.
So that's kind of, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, man. They seem to lose a lot of evidence.
Come out here and kiss me on the lips if you think you're tough, dude.
So, in the armrest ashtray of seat 18E, FBI agents found those 8 Raleigh filter-tipped cigarette butts. Those were sent to the FBI crime laboratory for fingerprints, but investigators were unable to find fingerprints and returned the butts to the Las Vegas field office. In 1998, the FBI sought to extract the DNA from the cigarette butts, but discovered the butts had been destroyed while in custody of the Las Vegas field office.
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
Good job, guys. They have fucking nothing.
Yeah.
They destroyed the arm hair, right? Because they were like, there's not enough there. And then they lost the head hair and then destroyed the cigarette butts.
But, you know, and they may not have, you know, any evidence or ways to find this guy, but you know what they do have?
Not integrity.
Each other. They have
Oh.
each other.
Yeah, well, they don't got
And
much
that's all you
integrity.
really need in the end.
Not really. The DNA would be nice. I don't understand why they didn't just keep all of the things because like science is always evolving. Instead, they're just like, you know, it's not useful right now, so let's destroy it
Yeah, well, you know.
because that's a good idea.
Well, of course. How many, what are we at right now?
For pages?
Yes.
Good question. I don't know.
Well,
9. So probably a couple more and we'll have to call it because, man, I did not realize it was going to be this long.
a lot of bits, a lot of jokes,
Yeah.
a lot of hee-hees and ha-has going on, I hear.
So on February 10th of 1980, 8-year-old Brian Ingram was vacationing with his family on the Columbia River at a beachfront home known as the Tina Bar, about 9 miles downstream from Vancouver, Washington, and about 20 miles southwest of Ariel. As he raked the sandy riverbed to build a campfire, he uncovered 3 packets of ransom cash, totaling about $5,800.
Mm-hmm.
This child's just hanging out, raking the sand, finds a bunch of money. The bills had been disintegrated from lengthy exposure to the elements, but were still bundled in rubber bands. FBI technicians confirmed that the money was indeed a portion of the ransom. 2 packets of $120 bills each and a third packet of 90, all arranged in the same order as when given to Cooper.
Damn.
The discovery launched several new rounds of conjecture and ultimately raised more questions than it answered. Initial statements by investigators and scientific consultants were founded on the assumption that the bundled bills washed freely into the Columbia River from one of its many connecting tributaries. An Army Corps of Engineers hydrologist, noted that the bills had been disintegrated in a rounded fashion and were matted together, indicating they had been deposited by river action as opposed to having been deliberately buried. That conclusion, if correct, supported the hypothesis that Cooper had not landed near Lake Merwin, nor any tributary of the Lewis River, which feeds into the Columbia well downstream from Tina Bar. It also lent credence to supplemental speculation that the drop zone was near the Washougal River, which merges with the Columbia River upstream from the discovery site. The free-floating hypothesis presented difficulties. It did not explain 10 bills missing from one packet, nor was there any explanation for how 3 packets would have remained together after separating from the rest of the money. Physical evidence was incompatible with geological evidence. Himmelsbach wrote free-floating bundles would have washed up on the bank within a couple of years of the hijacking. Otherwise, the rubber bands would have been long since deteriorated. Geological evidence suggests the bills arrived at Tina Bar after 1974, the year of a Corps of Engineers dredging operation on that stretch of the river.
Yeah, so it is kind of funny though to kind of look at like Tina Bar, because I was like, when they were saying it, I was like, that sounds really familiar. It's because French's Bar is just really to the south, and I used to, back in high school, I used to party out near there, and I've actually been to Tina
That's
Bar.
up by like Savvy Island, right?
Yeah, just across, like literally just on the other side. Yeah, it's directly across. But that's really funny. I've been there, so like that's bizarre.
Yeah.
I've been to Frenchman Bar, but not Tina Bar.
Love Frenchman's Bar. But everybody's always out there going, oh, Frenchman's Bar, let me get the cocktail.
So
They don't do that. I'm lying. That's not how that works.
So geologist Leonard Palmer of Portland State University found two distinct layers of sand and sediment between the clay deposited on the riverbank by the dredge and the sand layer where the bills were buried, indicating that the bills arrived long after dredging had been completed. In late 2020, analysis of diatoms found on the bills suggests that the bundles found at Tina Bar were not submerged in the river or buried dry at the time of the hijacking in 1971. Only diatoms that bloom in the springtime were found, placing the date range that the money entered the water at least several months after the hijacking.
Interesting.
It is interesting. That's so weird. In 1986, after protracted negotiations, the recovered bills were divided equally between Brian Ingram and Northwest Orient's insurer, Royal Globe Insurance. The FBI retained 14 examples as evidence. Ingram sold 15 of his bills at auction in 2008 for about $37,000.
Badass.
Yeah.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like, yeah, so they split it equally, I guess. So selling 15 of those bills, he still has quite a few.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got about 200, so about 145 bills.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. And I think might be a good place to have a stopping point. What do you think? No, we'll go to that.
To sketches.
Yeah. Well, fucking.
Well, we'll talk about the sketches of the man, and then we'll
talk about that in the next episode. Tay,
Yeah.
I point to it so Taylor doesn't say it. She's like, that thing? Yes, Tay. Fucking goddamn it.
Listen, I'm not fully coherent. I'm trying, but it's hard. It's hard, man.
Here, I'll finish it out.
You don't have to.
All right, then I won't.
okay.
Then fuck you then.
I'm okay. I'm just, my brain's a little foggy. So, so the Columbia River ransom money remains the only confirmed physical evidence from the hijacking found outside the aircraft. During the hijacking, Cooper demanded and received 2 main chutes and 2 reserve chutes. The 2 reserve or front chutes came from the local skydiving school, and the 2 main back chutes were supplied by the local stunt pilot, Norman Hayden. Earl Cossey, The parachute rigger who packed all 4 parachutes brought to Cooper described the 2 main chutes as emergency bailout chutes as opposed to sporting parachutes that skydivers would use. Cossey further described the main chutes as being like military chutes because they were rigged to open immediately upon the ripcord being pulled and were incapable of being steered. When the plane landed in Reno, FBI agents FBI agents discovered 2 chutes that Cooper had left behind, one reserve or front chute and one main or back chute. The reserve chute had been open and 3 shroud lines had been cut, but the main chute left behind was still intact. The unused main chute was described by the FBI as a Model NB6, which is Navy Backpack 6, and is on display at the Washington State Historical Society Museum. Where is that? Because I want to go.
I'm going to look it up for you. Washington State Historical Society Museum.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
It's in Wisconsin.
Yeah, of course, yes. We can take a HGO family trip.
H.G.O. family trip.
Yeah.
We go to the museum, you know.
We might go to the zoo, too.
We'll go to the zoo. Marty will throw up in the back seat, and I'll yell at him, and I'll go, "We never should have had you! Never!" Then he'll cry, then I'll fucking start hitting him. I'm just kidding. Washington State Historical.
So while you find that, I'll keep going. One of the 2 reserve chutes that Cooper was given was an unusable training chute intended to only be used for classroom demonstrations. According to Cossey, the reserve chute had a canopy inside of it that was sewn together so that skydiving students could get the feel of pulling a ripcord on a packed parachute without the canopy actually deploying. This non-functional reserve parachute was not found in the aircraft when it landed in Reno, leading FBI agents to speculate that Cooper was not an experienced parachutist because someone with experience would have realized this reserve chute was a dummy chute. However, within days of the hijacking, it was revealed that neither of the parachute harnesses Cooper was given had the necessary D-rings to attach reserve parachutes. Although Cooper lacked the ability to attach this, quote, dummy chute to his main harness as a reserve parachute, it was not found on the plane, so what he did with it is unknown. Cossey speculated that Cooper removed the sewn-together canopy and used the empty reserve container as a extra money bag. Tina Mucklow's testimony was in line with Cossey's speculation, stating that she recalled Cooper attempting to pack money inside of the parachute bag. In November of 1978, a deer hunter found a 727's instruction placard for lowering the air stair. The placard was found near Logging Road, about 13 miles east of Castle Rock, north of Lake Merwin, but within the Flight 305's basic flight path.
So he's still out there.
He very well could be. So, I mean, maybe that's our good place to stop.
That is a good place to stop.
And we'll pick up next time.
Close that. But yeah, man, we'll get into it next week, talk about the sketches, talk about some theories, things like that, more of the FBI investigative.
People who were suspected,
you know? Like they grabbed him by the fucking shirt and they're like, "Are you DB Cooper?"
Let's obviously say no.
And they go, "We believe you. We're the FBI." And
yeah.
They fucking put on their sunglasses.
We're the FBI. We've never done anything wrong ever.
No, it's sweet as pie. Now, but yeah, this it's crazy how like local and how close we are like to this case. Like, I mean, I grew up in a lot of these places. I've been to a lot of these places, you know, without even knowing. You know, it's quite bizarre.
Yeah.
So he's out there.
He's out there somewhere.
I mean, dead or alive, we'll find him.
That's our next episode of
Yeah.
HGO. Is
Well-
us going to hunt for DB
Well, actually,
Cooper.
next episode we're actually bringing him here. He's still alive. I already got his contact information.
Oh.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. If you had fun joining us this week on part 1 of DB Cooper, be sure to like, share, subscribe, share us on your socials, all that fun stuff. Rate and review, giving me a big old kiss on the lips. Don't be making it weird, unless you want to make it weird.
Oh.
Anyway, if you want to follow us on our socials, you can follow us at HGOPodcast on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us on Haunts, Graves, and Omens on Facebook. If you want to email us, tell us a scary story or tell your story, or are you DB Cooper? This could be about anything, man. You can talk to us about like ghosts, aliens, cryptids, true crime, whatever. Did you escape a serial killer? Did you fucking fist fight Sasquatch? I don't know. Email
Anything.
us.
Yeah.
HGOPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you. And if you want to follow me directly on Instagram, like you should, because I'm the fucking coolest dude. Look how fucking cool I am, dude. Watch my arms, dude. Watch how cool my arms go. Follow me on Instagram at @IHuntTheHaunted. And maybe I'll start streaming again. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Tay?
Hi. You can follow me on either TikTok or Instagram at Lunar Thrill. I'm gonna try and start posting more. It might be a lot of dog related stuff, especially in the next in a couple months. But also the fact
Yeah, we're getting a dog.
I groom dogs. But yeah, we're getting a puppy in July. That's fun and exciting.
Yeah, can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I'm super excited. But nonetheless, I work with dogs, so you might see a lot of dog-related things.
Yep.
I hope you enjoy all that.
Marty Cowlick.
You can follow me on the internet, but not at the grocery store.
Where on the internet,
Well,
Marty?
Well, where else are we gonna find you if you're not at the grocery store?
Yeah, the internet.
Where on the internet, please?
You can follow me on Instagram at IHuntTheHaunted. I mean, at Lunar Thrill. I mean, at Ghetto Feather. That's the one.
There you go.
At Ghetto Feather. And if, I don't even know, man. This is such a fucking brain dead way to end this episode.
We're having a time.
You can follow me at Ghetto Feather. You can follow
You can follow me at I Hunt the Haunted.
You can follow Marty at Lunar Thrill, whatever. I don't fucking know. You can follow me at the MFA, the Motherfuckers the Apocalypse, GFL. You can follow me at Charlie Haggard.
You can follow us anywhere. It's fine.
Just start following.
Just not at the grocery store.
Just start
fucking
following me, dude. I don't care where you're coming from. Just start following me. All right, man. You can follow me at DB Cooper.
We're falling apart.
Oh my god. Stay spooky.
Stay haunted.
And you can follow me at Charlie Haggard. You can follow me at Lunar Thrill. You can follow me at Ghetto Feather. You can follow me at the Motherfuckers the Apocalypse. You can follow me at WeAreTA.